This Sunday, November 14th at 3 o'clock at Lutheran Church of the Cross at 560 Arlington Street, the Mennonite Community Orchestra will be putting on a concert that they are calling Prairie Sunrise. There will be music written for the different sections of the orchestra, such as music for brass by Gabrieli, music for woodwinds by Mozart, and music for strings by Dvorak. The concert will also feature a brand new work for orchestra by Canadian composer Anna Schwartz and music from Mozart's The Marriage of Figaro as sung by soprano Johanna Klassen. Joining me here over Zoom to talk more about this concert, I am joined by composer Anna Schwartz and soprano Johanna Klassen. Hi, Johanna and Anna. How's it going?
Good. Good to be here.
Nice.
Good.
Nice to see you. I thought I would start the conversation out by first getting you to introduce yourselves to our Classic 107 audiences. I know you're both students at Canadian Mennonite University, but can you tell us about what degree you're pursuing and how many years you've been a student at CMU? Anna, I'll start with you.
Sure. Yeah, so I'm a fourth year student at CMU, and my degree so far has been in piano performance and also fairly recently choral education. So that's been really cool to be able to do both those fields. And then after I finish my degree, I'm actually hoping to apply to medical school. So I'm also doing some science classes at CMU, and that's been really cool to intersect those worlds as well.
Amazing. And Johanna, how about you?
I'm also in my fourth year at CMU with a concentration in choral education as well. And though it's not part of my degree title, I have been doing a lot of vocal performance in the past few years too, which brings me to this concert. And after my degree, I plan to go to U of M for an after degree in education.
Oh, perfect. Anna, I'm going to start with you. You're having a piece performed by the Mennonite Community Orchestra. And can you tell us about this piece? It's called Prairie Sunrise. You're from Fort Frances, Ontario. There's not a lot of prairie in Fort Frances. How do you get inspired to write a piece about the prairie?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. There's not a lot of prairie in northwestern Ontario. Yeah, there's a lot of rocks and a lot of trees. And so, yeah, we have sunrises here too. But I remember back in my second year at CMU, Johanna and I were on a choir tour in southern Manitoba, and it was a one-day tour. So we were starting very early in the morning, and we were driving along through southern Manitoba on this bus. And I remember looking out the window and seeing this sunrise that was happening over the prairies of southern Manitoba. And it was just unlike anything I'd ever seen in northwestern Ontario. I mean, we have, like I said, we have sunrises here too, but just the vastness and like the expanse of the prairies in southern Manitoba was really intriguing for me, and it was so wonderful. And so in this piece that I wrote in Prairie Sunrise, I was trying to capture some of that vastness that I was experiencing through that sunrise.
Is this your first piece for orchestra? And have you been working with somebody at CMU who's been helping you through the compositional process of this piece? Is this your first piece for orchestra?
Yes. So yeah, we have a composition program at CMU, and it is led by Neil Weisensell. So he takes on a few students every year, and we sort of have this little composition group of students at CMU who take lessons from him. And so yes, this is my first piece for full orchestra, and it's been quite the experience to try and write for full orchestra. It's something I've never really done before. So it was wonderful to have Neil there to be able to help me with a lot of things that I had no idea you had to worry about when you were writing for full orchestra. So yeah, really good experience.
Yeah, I mean, there's issues such as range of the instruments and bowings and whatnot. Did he help you with that kind of thing? Like, can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest challenges for me in writing this piece was the fact that I don't actually play any of the instruments that I was writing for. Like, for instance, one thing that I was struggling with was figuring out bowings for string instruments. because in my flute line, in the flute line for this piece, there were these beautiful long phrases that were happening, and they were super long, like maybe a few measures, and I thought they sounded lovely. And so I just copy and pasted those slur lines into the string score. And I took that to Neil, and Neil said, well, no, actually, you can't do it that way, because for the strings, you know, these slur lines, they have to be so much smaller because it's representing the bowing that the strings are actually doing. So it was those little things that sort of were a really exciting challenge for me to try and figure out, like, what do each of these instruments need, and also where do these instruments shine? Like, where are the places where they perform really well? Where are the places that it would be better to use a different instrument for something?
Yeah, you're talking about registers and whatnot. Yeah, yeah. It's amazing. Johanna, I'm going to turn the conversation over to you. You're going to be performing a couple of selections from Mozart's The Marriage of Figaro with the Mennonite Community Orchestra. Can you talk about the arias, and have you been working on these pieces specifically for this concert, or are you performing them somewhere else? Like, what two arias are you going to be singing? Maybe let's start with that.
Right, so I'll be singing Porgi Amor, Qualche Ristoro, and Dove Sono, which are both of the Countess's arias in The Marriage of Figaro. And I started learning one of them last year just as part of my repertoire, and the other one we added because this is a really great opportunity for me as a vocalist to sing with an orchestra. Most of the music I learn at CMU, they're art songs or arias, but I'm singing with a piano, and so this is different. So we thought, like me and my teacher, we thought it would be really great to program this bigger music, these arias from opera, to actually play with an orchestra as I would if I was singing in an opera. So that's why I'm singing these pieces. I am doing a graduate recital at the end of the year, and I won't be singing these pieces, but so this is kind of the debut for these for myself.
And you mentioned your teacher, and don't gloss over the teacher. Who are you studying with at CMU?
I'm studying with Don Brooke-Weens.
Wonderful. Mozart wrote amazingly for every instrument. It doesn't matter what it is, including the voice. What is it that you like singing? Why do you like singing Mozart? What is it about his writing that you find so interesting?
I love just how dramatic it is. I think that goes for all of opera too, but especially just it's light, but still so dramatically charged, which makes it really a challenge to sing, but something that's really fun. And I also, in Dove Sono, there's this beautiful relationship between the Countess and the oboe that comes back and forth. And it's really neat for me because I play the oboe. So that's been a really fun thing to explore.
Yeah, sort of the dialogue. Are you, like, it goes without saying, you both must be super excited to have Anna, your piece performed, and Johanna to be singing with the Mennonite Community Orchestra. That's the case. Like, Anna, maybe I'll start with you. What are you expecting on Sunday? Are you expecting the piece?
Yeah, for me, I think it's a really exciting experience. It's also a little nerve-wracking because I've never actually heard this piece performed by real actual instruments. Like, technology these days is incredible, and you can hear so many things like digitized or sort of like over some software program that you might have. But I've never actually heard like someone play this piece musically before and with actual like human input into what's actually happening. So that for me is really exciting. But I'm also a little nervous because I don't know how the piece is going to sound. The other thing that computers do not do is they don't tell you what an instrument can do and what it can't do. So I'm hoping that I haven't written anything that the instruments can't do.
Have you been?
But I'm also so.
Sorry, have you been in contact with anybody from the orchestra who said, you know, this is an issue that needs to be dealt with, or?
Not so far, no. I not that I can think of. So I'm guessing it's probably all fine. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting too sometimes because when you're writing for a specific orchestra, it can sort of be really exciting to explore the capabilities and like the resources that that orchestra has. So if I had been writing for a different orchestra and they might have had different players or like different numbers of players within each section. So that's always really cool too.
Mm-hmm. And Johanna, how about you? Are you super excited for Sunday as well?
Yeah, I'm really excited. Singing in a concert on this scale as a soloist was never really something that I thought of that I would be doing because my degree is not in vocal performance. And so I've been really, really glad to have these opportunities from the MCO and from various things associated with CMU as well. And I'm just so excited to sing for people. It's been pretty much a year and a half just singing to cameras. So I'm really excited to have an audience.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm totally with you there. I'm going to round out the conversation this way. After the Sunday concert, what's next? Do both of you have exams or juries or recitals? What's going on? Johanna, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, we are at the end of our semester here, so we do have a bunch of papers and exams. I'm singing in the National Association of Teachers of Singing competition at the end of the month, so I'm excited for that, looking forward to it. And then, yeah, one more semester, and then that's my degree. So, yeah.
Oh, wow. And Anna, how about you? What's next after Sunday?
Yeah. For me, there's a few other projects that I have on the go. I'm attempting to put together a production of a short opera that I've written with Neil Weisensell, also in the composition program at CMU. And Johanna is actually singing the main character in this opera. So yeah, that's very exciting, happening hopefully in January. And then I'm also working on a project with Shirley Elias and the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra. And we're doing a project about music and the brain. So talking about how music is connected to the brain. And that's been really interesting for me, wanting to go into medical school and sort of really exploring that in more depth.
Yeah, I know Shirley's got synesthesia. She associates pitches with colors. Yeah, it's a fascinating field. Anyway, tangent. Anna and Johanna, this has been so great to chat with you. Anna, your piece sounds super interesting. And Johanna, I'm sure your performance on Sunday is going to be amazing. And the members of the orchestra are going to be playing music by Dvorak, Gabrieli, and Mozart. It sounds like it's going to be just a phenomenal concert this Sunday. For any listeners who want to see this concert on Sunday the 14th at 3 at Lutheran Church of the Cross, once again at 560 Arlington Street, go to our website, classic107.com. I've embedded a direct link to all the information that you'll need about the concert in the article that is up on our website, classic107.com. Johanna and Anna, thanks again. It's been a treat.
Thanks.
Thanks.